Choosing a camera can literally make you want to pull your hair out because of how complicated it can get. The goal of this video is to boil it down to 4 very simple questions you need to ask yourself before choosing a camera, and my hope is that by the end of this video, you don't want to pull your hair out. It's not healthy for you. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody out there on YouTube, wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it is for you. I hope you're doing well and staying safe. If you're new here and you haven't already taken the time to bless that subscribe button and the notification bell that is right next to it so you don't miss my weekly video uploads as well as my weekly live streams that are taking place every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central Time, please take a second to do that. The very first thing you're going to want to consider when looking into a camera and purchasing one is your budget. Most people will put the budget at the very end of the list after you've decided all the things you need, and you end up needing a multiple $1,000 camera in your mind, and then you don't ever buy a camera because most of us, let's face it, especially right now, don't have thousands of dollars to spend on a camera. And I do want to say really quick as a side note that is important to the budget section, you may already have an incredible camera in your pocket. That's right, smartphone. I know you probably heard it a billion times. You probably rolled your eyes at it. I promise you, if you're rolling your eyes right now, you're sleeping, okay? The phones are incredible. I did a couple of videos on that just a little while ago on editing your photos on your phone, taking photos on your phone, how to take professional photos with your phone, and there's a plethora of videos out there on it. I encourage you to take some time to go watch those videos. I'll put some links above in the cards, if I remember to my videos where I talked about those things. But you want to determine your budget based on where you are in life. Don't worry about your photography or videography right now. Focus on your finances just for a moment. If you're a 9-to-5 worker and you're making minimum wage, you maybe don't want to go spending thousands of dollars on a camera because you might be able to do something else in your life that would allow you to move forward with your life. But if you're making really good money doing whatever it is that you do for a living, and you're like, you know, I can actually afford to spend $5,000 on a camera and lenses and all that, by all means, I don't want to stop you from spending that money if you've got it. But just be very circumspect about where you are in life, be objective, be realistic, and decide a budget before you ever look for a camera. Now that you've decided your budget, whatever it is, you're going to want to decide whether your purpose is primarily photo or primarily video for cameras. And it sounds silly because almost every camera that I'm aware of can do both. But hear me out on this one. I actually didn't know about this until after I had purchased my Sony a6100, which is the camera I personally landed on. I didn't know that some cameras shoot better photos and some cameras shoot better videos. And I'm not just talking about brands right now, guys. I'm talking about literally Sony to Sony. There are 2 cameras that I've heard repeatedly. One of them shoots better photos, the other one shoots better videos. And I had to figure out why. I didn't understand that. Now, to be honest with you, I did not realize that cameras that are at the same price point and the same brand could potentially shoot photos better and videos better depending on the camera you're looking at until after I'd already purchased my first one. So I'm hoping this will save some of you that heartache. If you are looking for a camera that is better at photo, that's your particular use case you're looking for, you're going to want to make sure that the camera you're looking at has the best frame rate continuously and resolution. You're going to want to look for the highest numbers in those values, comparing all the cameras across the board in your budget, and based on that decide on which one you want to go for. Same thing is true with video, except you're going to want to look obviously under the video settings, but you're going to want to look at not just the resolution, although resolution's important. Honestly, you can still get away with 1080p for most things anymore. You're going to want to look at the available frame rate that your camera can shoot at. As a videographer, I am realizing that the frame rates differences are huge depending on what you're wanting to convey, what kind of shot you're trying to get. Frame rate's massive. So if you're looking at cameras all in that budget and you're looking for a video camera, I would suggest looking for the highest resolution and highest frame rate you can find for your budget. The next thing you want to take into consideration is your skill level. Now, really, this seems like a stupid thing, but I promise you this is very important. If you buy, let's say, your first camera and it's a crazy bunch of different dials everywhere, a whole bunch of switches and buttons, and you just get overwhelmed, I can promise you, you'll be less likely to pick up your camera and continue to try to do whatever it is you bought the camera for in the first place. So if you're just starting out, maybe start simpler. That's what I did. That's why I chose the Sony a6100 personally. This is not a hashtag ad. This is not sponsored. I chose it because it was simple, and for me, starting out, I wanted a simple camera. But on the flip side of that, if you have been shooting photos or video on your phone, for instance, you've been getting the general idea of photography, videography down to a science, and you just want to get into it, you just want to just full send, go all kinds of complicated with your camera because you're at the skill level for it. The last thing I want to encourage you to consider is your specific primary use. And that is actually the biggest reason I chose Sony, and specifically Sony's mirrorless APS-C sensor lineup. And then this camera, the thing that I needed specifically was a microphone input so that I could do vlogs or stuff like this where I have an external microphone plugged into the camera. If you found this video helpful in any way, please do me a favor and bless that like button. But man, if it wasn't helpful to you at all and you just literally hated it, man, condemn it to the dislike button. All right? I still love you. I'll still accept you. But until the next video, this is Bearden for Hope, signing off.